Legs Media. You know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks. We got lots of stuff coming up. Hello, and welcome in once again. This is Innis Luby, say with your Legs Media. And as always, as I ask if you on your way in, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we are about to get on with this. I am super excited. Campanolo is by far my favorite brand. So we got to start things off with this. This is like French team confidence will be on Campanolo. Two of cycling's most iconic brands are back together at the top level from 2025 with what could be the best looking bike in the pro peloton by far. After a season with no Campanolo sponsored teams at the top level for the first time in living memory, the Italian component brand is back with the World Tour from January 2025. The look bikes ridden by the French confidence team will be equipped with Campanolo's equipment, both group sets and wheels. Vicenza has signed a partnership and agreement to supply the men's and women's confidence teams bikes for the next 4 years. Confidence last ran Campanolo equipment in 2022, along with Lotto Soudal, UAE Emirates, and AG2R La Mondiale. But the following year, only AGR2 were on Campanolo with a BMC, and then on 2024, after AGRs2 switched to Van Rijssel and Shimano, Campanolo teamless. So, however, according to Campanolo, Confidence took a decision after the French outfits, technicians, and mechanics spent a protracted period putting Campanolo components through the paces and then choosing them for its looks bikes. Further, the collaboration has seen the Italian company technicians work hand in hand with looks products managers who, with the guidance from the team mechanics, have identified the ideal configuration for the bike. So into CycloCross last weekend. So we had no CycloCross this weekend because of some storms that happened in Italy, some massive windstorms. So this weekend's World Cup was cancelled. That's a shame. It is a shame, but hey, safety first, and we understand that you can't have putting the riders in danger. But going back to last weekend, because I missed last weekend, we had Michael Van Torenhart. They came up here to Dublin, and he won the race in Dublin. That was an amazing victory by Michael Van Torenhart. And then in the ladies, we had Lucinda Brand. She won the ladies. She won the ladies race, beating out Fan Van Empel, which was really a surprise win. So that's really amazing to see Lucinda outfox Fan Van Empel. But Fan Van Empel did have a bunch of problems, like with flat tires and technical difficulties and stuff. And it seems like the ladies are sort of catching Fem up. So whereas before, if Fem had those problems, then she would still have been able to catch up and possibly win the race. But because you got riders like Lucinda that are just as strong, they do just as much miles on the road, so she was able to keep up. So that was pretty impressive. And then going back to Michael Van Torenhart, if I can go back to him. So this race was really interesting. It looked like it was going to have a different outcome. And Michael Van Torenhart, the reason I'm saying that because the buckle broke on his shoe halfway through the race. So his mechanics had to go get his extra shoes, and then he had to go in the pit and just change the shoe, which is really quick. I mean, it didn't take him no time. He probably lost a couple seconds, but he was in the lead group, so he ended up going from the front of the lead group to the back of the lead group. And then once he changed his shoe and he got the broken buckle back on, it just looked like, okay, he'll probably at best finish on the podium, and probably Elizabeth would win. But then Elizabeth looked like he was struggling as well for some reason. The course just didn't suit him. But just toward the end of the race, Van Torenhart put it in just a massive attack, and just and he was able to win. It didn't come down to a sprint. He was able to get away, and that was really amazing and pretty impressive by Michael Van Torenhart to win last week's race in Dublin. The British Continental Team, Piran closes doors. This has been an incredibly difficult decision. This is the British cycling scene continues to suffer whilst it continues to deliver top riders a bit with less Grand Tour winners than in the past. But when it comes to events taking place in the teams in the professional scene, the situation is dire. St. Piran is one of the few remaining continental teams and have ended due to financial struggles. The UK elite cycling scene remains a crown jewel in the landscape of international sport and a golden opportunity for investment. Most riders in the World Tour peloton than ever before, world and Olympic medalists, and development of cyclist infrastructure across the UK are incredible achievements. St. Piran Cycling has contributed in all three of these, and the team shared in a long message on their website. So I'm not going to go to that, but despite the difficulties over the past few years and months, there has been efforts to help the team sustain itself in a professional level, but it's proved impossible, and this has been an incredibly difficult decision for all the St. Piran, but one that we believe is right. So that's St. Piran. They are not closing the doors. They're still going to be involved in different projects and people and stuff. So they're going to be doing stuff. So they'll still be around. They won't be a pro world tour team, but they'll still be around. So what's the story about? It says former Tour de France winner and multiple-time Olympic gold medalist Sir Bradley Wiggins has hit a rough patch financially over recent years with the most recent assessment of bankruptcy claim against him and being just short of $2 million. Through this nightmare, though, support has come from somewhat an unlikely place in the form of our cycling persona non grata, Lance Armstrong. Once the biggest icon in cycling, Armstrong fell from grace after doping admissions were well documented. But over recent years, the American and Wiggins have become close. So close, in fact, that Armstrong has long been pushing Wiggins to go to therapy in an attempt to deal with his issues, built around his abuse he suffered as a youth. After pushing back against the idea, in 2012, the Mellejon winner has now finally decided to try therapy for the first time, with Armstrong paying the entire fee as a gesture of goodwill. Lance has helped me out a lot in recent years, more so this year. We're talking about therapy. He wants to pay for me to go to this big place in Atlanta where you go and you stay for a week, explains Wiggins on a high performance podcast. He's a good man. He did what he did, but that's not to condone what he did. He's got a heart under there somewhere. It couldn't have come at more. It could not have come at more of a more needed time for the Brit either. As long as standing mental health struggles combined with his financial issues over the last couple of years, Wiggins has found himself in a very dark place at times. There were some really extreme moments. Probably the last one was about a year ago. Without going into too much detail, he recalls, I was in a very dark place, in a very dark room for many days, and it was a hotel. And my son actually was the one who was kind of intervened and made me realize and recognize the self-destruction mode I was in. There was a lot of reasons for that. There was also something that was causing me issues and giving me reasons not to be happy. There was always something on the horizon, but I realize now that there was never going to be a clear path. I realize we're born into struggle, and it's where you make we're born into struggle, and it's what you make with that struggle. Jonas, just short and sweet. He just came out and said he did not realize that the treatment that he was getting could be abused, and that there were people out there abusing the system, and there are people out there that are going to abuse the system. So we're talking about the carbon monoxide rebreathing, and you could go back and you can see the story I done on carbon monoxide and rebreathing. Basically, it's a machine where they put you on where you're breathing in a small amount of carbon monoxide, and they mix that, and it sort of helps. It sort of simulates riding at elevation, and I believe this was probably one of the key factors to him getting back in shape and coming back for the 2022 Tour de France. So this is our headline story. Tom Pick and Ineos Grenadiers have parted ways. So it's a little story that I put together. I'm going to read it through for you. So there seems to be a clear disconnect between Tom Pidcock, the talented multidisciplined cyclist, and his former team, Ineos Grenadiers. After a tumultuous 4-year stint, their fractured relationship has finally reached a breaking point, with Pidcock moving on to the new team, Q36.5. Here's a breakdown of the key points and what they might mean. Pidcock's achievements. Despite his age of 25, Pidcock has a decorated career across discipline. He's a 2-time Olympic mountain bike champion, CycloCross world champion, and has stage wins in the Tour de France and the prestigious one-day classics like Amstel Gold and Strada Bianca. inconsistent road results. While impressive, Pidcock's road performance have always lived up to expectations. He hasn't delivered consistent results, but with some races ending in disappointment, like abandoning the 2024 Tour de France due to COVID, the man was still the ball. Our clashing ambitions. A core issue seemed to be the conflicting goals. Ineos, known for their focus on grand tours like the Tour de France, may have wanted Pidcock to dedicate himself to road racing. Pidcock, however, prioritized maintaining his dominance in mountain biking. Can you blame him? And the fractures and fraction within the team management. So the reports of tension between Pidcock and team management, particularly, sorry about that, particularly of the DS, the director sportif, who is Steve Cummins, who actually has now moved on to girod'italia. And also the public deselection of Ilobade, a major race, further fueled speculation of a troubled relationship. So let's go back to the DS. So this is you would think like, okay, if Pidcock is leaving, why is Steve leaving as well? Because I'm gonna just take a guess. So if you have 10 to 15 members of the team, not everyone's going to side with Pidcock and not everyone's going to side with Team Cummins. So you're going to get people like this supporting Pidcock, saying, come on, man, you be okay. And you're going to get people supporting Steve. I understand he's hard to work with and all of that. So you're going to get two fractions. So when Pidcock leaves, in a sense, Steve has to leave. Because if Steve stays, those same people that supported Steve but were supportive of Pidcock, not necessarily not non-supportive of Steve, but in a way they were against him. You would still have that tension in the team. So at the end of the day, they both have to go. So it looks like Steve, like he done the deal, he wanted to go, and all of that. In my eyesight, in my thing, it has nothing to do with him moving on to greener pastures. I think when Pidcock declared that he was going, Ineos Grenadiers was like, yeah, you get in the boot too. You got to go because we need to get this poison and distraction out of the team so we can start anew and go fresh. So he's going to girod'italia, which is a good. I think it's a good look for Steve Cummins, and now he can be free of all of that tension and all of that stuff, and he could get on with the job at hand. Ineos are looking for clarity. Ineos might be seeking a team with a clear direction. Letting Pidcock go always allows them to focus on riders dedicated to solely to the road racing and grand tours, potentially simplifying their strategy. I I say yes and no to that. So I can understand they want to develop their world tour riders like Egan Bernal and then some other youngsters that they have coming in. But at the same time, you have Matthew Van Der Poel, you have Walt Van Aert, and then you had Tom Pidcock. So Tom Pidcock was sort of in the mode of Walt and Matthew Van Der Poel, but without the background and depth that Matthew Van Der Poel and Walt Van Aert had in that cyclocross, which is, I think, is what really built those two riders, Walt Van Aert and Matthew Van Der Poel, which really made them into the riders that they are. And I think Tom Pidcock was sort of falling into that sort of category of type of rider. Now, if you develop that rider and you really help him to mature, then you get an awesome and amazing, talented rider. And I think for Ineos to sort of push that away and really just solely try to focus on getting a tour winner, I think they probably hurt themselves more than they helped themselves. Unless they get some kids coming through that are just going to be amazing and revitalize the program. We'll have to see when 2025 comes because I'm not too familiar with who's coming into the team. But unless like people like Egan Bernal and whoever's coming in really do the thing and, are consistently in the top 10 or top 5 for the tours, then it's all to play for. This might be the beginning of the end of Ineos Grenadiers. It might be a few more years before they're done and dusted, and it'll be a shame to lose another British team. But if it is, it's what they did to themselves. So I think they did what they had to do because I could see them trying to get where they want to get to and mature riders into becoming tour riders. But I think they lost a gem in letting Pidcock go because he is special, man. He is a special rider. And if you actually build things around him like Alpecin has done for Walt Van Aert, you can get some tremendous things and you will get more back than you give. But they didn't. I feel like it's just one tunnel vision look at how they want to go and see things, and that's what's up. It's a shame. It's a shame that they try to put Tom in a box. I got a guy. He's a recording artist. His name is Ryan Leslie, and he does this video. At the end of the video, he says, like, after he finishes recording, he says, they're trying to put me in a box. They don't know, you can't do that. You can't put me in a box. So basically, this is what I feel like they're doing to Tom Pickock. They're trying to put him in a box, and it in a little ways it backfired. It didn't go, and then them leaving him out of Lombardi at the end of the season. That wasn't a good look. That wasn't good at all. That wasn't personal, and that was probably between Steve and Thing, because Steve is to not select him, and he's on form as well. That was crazy. But anyway, Pickock's new start. Pickock is moving to Q36.5, and Pickock's fresh start with a team that might be more accommodating to his multi-disciplinary goals. This could lead to him flourishing in both the road and mountain bike racing. In conclusion, Tom Pickock's departure from Ineos Grenadier seems like parting ways that benefits both parties. I think it benefits Pickock more than it benefits Ineos Grenadiers. While Ineos gains the clarity in the goals, Pickock gets the chance to pursue his unique path in a more supportive environment. It'll be interesting to see how both sides perform in the up-and-coming season. Additionally, was Ineos wrong? So this is questions for you. Was Ineos wrong? Was Ineos wrong to try and mold Pickock into a pure road racer? Could Pickock's future success hinge on finding a team that embraces his multi-disciplinary approach? So he's found Q35, and I think it's going to be a good look. And how will the cycling world react to this high-profile transfer? Let's see. These are just some of the questions and situations that the situation raises. The upcoming season will hopefully provide some answers. I think it's going to be an amazing season. So let's get that off the screen at the bottom. And I think that's about it for yours truly. That's the amazing Tom Pickock, and we got so there you go. Get rid of my screensaver. So please, if you have hit the like button, if you have subscribed to the channel, I appreciate everybody who's tuned in, and I'm going to try to be more timely. And I'm going to dash off to the doctor now. But I'm going to try to be more timely with the Cycling Weekly talk. So I will see you on the next one. And I think this is what I want. Is that what I want? Nope. Sever your legs media. You know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks. We got lots of stuff coming up.